I just finished building out this portfolio plan for our client who's going to retire on $300,000 a year by the age of 40, and he's starting at 25. Let me run you through it. So here's the plan. He purchased his first property in 2021. We purchased him another property last year in 2025, and he needs to purchase another 3 residential properties over the next 4 years, and then a big commercial property at the end to generate the cash flow. Now, one of his biggest constraints was borrowing capacity. As you can see, as of this year, he has $2 million worth of capacity. So we had to be strategic with structuring and how we actually built out the portfolio so we can maximize this capacity. So here's the first thing we did. We sold down the existing property he had in the portfolio, which cashed him out $90,000. And the reason we did this is because that property had been underperforming for the past 3 years. We then used the cash that come out of the sale, plus then some existing cash to purchase the next property, which was $1 million asset, generating us a 7% growth rate and a 5.5% rental yield, which took the total portfolio to $2.1 million. The following year, we did that again, but this time instead of using cash, we used equity out of the existing 2 properties in the portfolio to fund the third property, which you can then see takes the total market value to just under 3.25 million. And we'd be sitting at around about an 85% loan to value ratio. We then wait a year. So in 2028, we allow the portfolio to grow. As you can see, it grows to just under $3.5 million and our equity position grows to $820,000. And then in 2029, we buy another asset, this time for $1.2 million. Same thing, it's a 5.5% rental yield and a 7% growth rate, which then takes the total portfolio to just under $5 million. Now, really quickly, the way that we were able to buy those assets is because when we sold down his existing property, that then freed up a huge amount of borrowing capacity in our personal name. And instead of going to buy those next assets in the personal name, we then put those properties inside of trusts, which means that we can recycle the borrowing capacity if those entities self-service, meaning the rental income covers all the expenses, which is why we're buying assets that have a 5.5% rental yield, which is the classic yield accelerator, which is the house and the granny flat, and at an 80% loan to value ratio, they pay for themselves. Now, let me show you the exciting bit, which is where the cash flow comes from. So all we do from 2029 to 2038 is we simply just hold those properties and allow them to grow in the market. And you can see what happens is our total market value gets to 9 million and our equity position gets to just over $5 million. And we've got a huge amount of cash savings sitting in the offset account. But what you can see is even with $5 million in net equity, the portfolio is only producing $100,000 of passive income. And that is because holding residential assets for passive income is not a smart thing to do because they're very expensive to hold even when they haven't got a huge amount of debt. So we then sell down the residential assets, transfer it into commercial property, and our passive income grows to $236,000 by 2039. And by 2042, we're sitting at almost $420,000.